We're live. Okay. So you want to get the chat up, and I'll give you an intro while you're trying to get the YouTube chat up. But welcome to Channel 27, everybody. Today is a exciting day for me because recently I've been getting into crypto, and a lot of. I just want to make sure I have it on mute here. Okay. And if any, there's a lot. I have a big mix here on my channel. Okay. So today I have Austin Patry, who is the son of a famous Vedic astrologer, Joni Patry, who has been on my channel. She's a good friend of mine. She is world predictions. I mean, spot on, just amazing. And I recommend her for everybody. And I said a couple weeks ago that I didn't want to talk about crypto until I took this class, the webinar that I took with you and your mom. So I was more than, it was just so great. I was really excited for the dates and everything to hear Joni's side because I'm not the most technical person, but you blew my mind and you gave so much information. So I couldn't wait to get you on this channel because I have a lot of crypto people, a lot of crypto sharks. I have people getting into crypto. I have astrology. I have a wild mix. So today's going to be a lot of fun. And I just want people to hear your story because it is just so amazing. You are the most amazing entrepreneur at your age. I wonder if it has to do with your mom being an astrologer.
Maybe, I think so.
But it's an honor to be talking to you. So today is Austin Patry. He's got a multitude of businesses. He's going to tell us about all of them. And then at the end, we're going to do a live Q&A and do a chat. I have all of his links in the link below. I do want to share with everybody real quick before we get started. Hold on. I want everybody to see, because I keep talking about this webinar, and I want you to see where, if you buy this webinar, and the link is in the actual description box. But hold on one sec. I just want to pull it up. Sorry, because I want everybody to see what you get when you download and take this class.
There's a lot.
Yeah, it was so fun. It was great. Sorry, this is taking forever. I have two screens here, so it's a little slow. Okay, so when you get this and you get a crypto guide PDF, and I'm not going to show it, but I talked about the class a little bit, but obviously I said, you have to. I'm not going to steal your thunder. Make sure you go take the class and get all this good information. So here we go. It's 87 pages. He spent so much time on it. It's such an amazing, you can figure out good cryptos, how to go buy Ripple, all this stuff, all these great links. So definitely, a great guide. And then Joni's, then you get the video, you get the Word doc you get Austin's PowerPoint, Joni's PowerPoint, and get the cryptos on Facebook group. So make sure the galacticcenter.org is Joni's website, and she has everything there, but the link to go right to here is in the description box. All right, so that's all I have. And now, Austin, take it away. Tell us how you got into this.
Yeah, so back in 2014, I was a sophomore in college at Texas Christian University, TCU in Fort Worth, Texas. And one of my friends came out to me, and it was actually even before this, but he came up to me. We were just talking in my backyard over a fire, and he starts telling us about Bitcoin. And I was like, well, what the heck is that? Like, I've never heard of Bitcoin, and most people have not. And he is just in love with it. He's pitching it to us, saying how this is going to be it's going to change the world. So this guy was really smart, one of my really good friends. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take him seriously. I started doing more research into it. And I had the same epiphany. I was like, this is groundbreaking. This is innovative. This is disruptive. And so I went in, I did so much research, and I ended up buying some Bitcoin. And the best thing I ever did with that Bitcoin was do not touch it. I did an internship that summer, and I put most of what I made in that internship into Bitcoin when it was around like $200. And so I put all this money into it. I mean, not a ton, but the best thing I did with that was absolutely nothing. I didn't touch it. And then until 2017, I took out that Bitcoin, I cashed it out, and I bought a food truck. And we have an acai bowl food truck in Fort Worth, Texas. An acai bowl, if you're not familiar with that, they're really big in California. And TCU, the school I graduated from, we're serving around that campus. We have a lot of TCU students, and there's majority out of state students are from California. But anyways, it's kind of like a thick smoothie that you can eat, and it has fresh fruit on top and coconut and granola. They're delicious, healthy, everything. But I bought this food truck. It's always been a dream of mine to do this. And so I made my cryptocurrency investments in Bitcoin. I made that into a real business, and a real legitimate business that I'm, it's a successful business, and I have partners in it and everything. And so I saw this opportunity in cryptocurrencies. I was like, wow, I made something out of nothing just for seeing the potential in this technology. And now I want to try and tell and educate other people about this, because we are still on the ground floor. And it's much like a lot of people compare it to the internet back in the 80s and in the 90s. And a lot of people say, okay, well, the internet, Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrencies, they've already bursted. It was a bubble. It's bursted just like the internet. Well, when the internet bursted, it was, I think, at $6 trillion, the market cap of all the money that's in it. And it was mainly started within the US. But with cryptocurrencies, it is international, and it hasn't even touched that. It's at a around 5 billion market cap right now. I mean, compare that to trillions and trillions. The cryptocurrency world, it is not a bubble. It has not bursted. Maybe it will burst later on, but we are in its infancy stages, and I want to educate people about it. And like you said, I did that course, and I've been diving deeper into cryptocurrency. Before I was always reading the news, keeping up with it and everything, but I never understood the technological aspects of it. And full disclosure, I'm not a coder of any sort, which in my opinion, I think can help me in some regards, because I can bridge this gap between technical and the beginner phases, where I can explain things in a very simple format. And so I'm not a coder, but I got into it, and now I've been trying to really go into the technical things and trying to learn more and more about it, have a deeper understanding about all things cryptocurrency, blockchain, and more specifically certain cryptocurrencies.
Well, I'll just say this. You're giving yourself not enough credit. The PDF that you gave us was like, I mean, you know way more than you're saying that you know.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
you got it down. All right, so we'll give him that. But yeah, we are not. I'll say that too. We're not financial advisors, for God's sake. So don't we say an investor life in it. And you made a good point in the video. And I always say this: don't spend more money that if it goes away, be okay with that.
That's the number one rule in crypto. Don't invest any more money than you can afford to lose.
And now, Austin, you still are heavily involved in crypto. You still, you're not trade. You still invest in it. It's not going. You really think it's not going anywhere, right? So, tell us where you're at with crypto now after your food truck.
Yeah. So, and also in addition to the food truck, I had a software and app development company called Voila Ideas. We're making an app for valet parking. But now with crypto,
wait, talk about that again. An app too. Go ahead. Yeah.
So it was. Just wanted to throw it out there, but it's an app for valet parking. And basically now with valet, the typical system is a ticketed system where you get the valet ticket, you walk outside, you give them the ticket. We created a completely cashless and ticketless solution, although we do have ticketed, where you can say, okay, I want to go right now. I want to set a timer. I want to leave now, 5, 10, 15 minutes. And then you can link a debit card, credit card, you can pay for your valet. And then afterwards you can see the live valet queue. So if you're at an event, everyone's using valet, there's 30 people waiting in line and you're 25th in line, you can say, okay, I'm not going to go outside yet. I have about 30 minutes waiting. There's 25 more people in front of me. I'm going to enjoy myself, get another drink. And so we do a lot of data analytics for the valet companies as well. But that's kind of, I've always been really interested in technology. And so I've been learning a lot about technology and a little bit about coding through that process. I have developers, but that's kind of how I've been getting more into the technical aspects of cryptocurrency. So I just want to give that background.
Now, eventually, will your app, and do you think your mom's website, everybody will be accepting crypto?
Yeah, actually in our food truck, we do accept Bitcoin ever since day one. Yeah. And we've had one person pay, and it was about a $10 acai bowl. That was $100 at some point.
Wow, that's so exciting. That's
Yeah. Yeah. We just got a little QR code on our window. You can just scan it, and it's so easy.
Wow, that's amazing.
Exactly. So to answer your question about where I'm at right now with crypto and everything, the best thing, like I said, back when I bought it in 2014, the best thing I did was hold on to it and not trade it or anything. And that's still the best advice, not financial advice, but in my opinion, the best thing that you can do is just hold, or as the crypto community says, hodl, which means hold on for dear life. You just hold that crypto and you don't touch it. And then in a couple of years from now, the idea is that this technology is really going to be widespread and it's going to pick up, and that Bitcoin, that Ethereum, whatever you may have, that's going to be worth a whole lot more in the long run. And there's going to be ups and there's going to be big downs, but you don't even have to look at that. You just hold and envision the future. Because back in the 90s, after the internet, after everything burst, Amazon, if you invested at its lowest point, if you invested today, you would have I think it's like 200 million, or it's either 2 million. If you invested, what is it? Like $100 or $500. I have this in the actual guide, and I talked about it in the webinar. If you like invested $100, you'd have like $2 million worth of Amazon stock today. If you did the same thing in Bitcoin at its lowest point, not $0, but in a couple of years ago, then you would have $2 billion. I mean, so you can see just how crazy this is. And it's because it's so crazy, it's also incredibly volatile. I mean, it goes up and down. Like I said, you just got to hold. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm always reading about new altcoins, new coins that are coming into the market, seeing if they have potential, and just holding on to it.
Do you ask your mom once you get a new coin, do you ask her to run the charts?
Well, that's what we've been doing lately for a couple. We've been looking at the charts for the coins. The toughest thing is sometimes it depends on how public their blockchain is for each coin. We can find the exact date when the first block was started. And so then we can find the first time and put that in the astrological chart, and it helps a lot. But there's some where it's like kind of a toss up. You don't know when the time is. And because things are so volatile, like people are wanting us to say, what day is it going up? What day is it going down? But my mom, I mean, it's so tough to say that with astrology, with anything. You can have all the tools in the world, but what you can see is that things are going to go up, and she thinks that sometimes they're going to go down. And she does all this by looking at the different, not the phases, but the
transit.
Yeah, the transits and I'm blanking on my astrological terms right now. And but she says that in the summer there could be a big change right there. And so we're not going to say just don't day trade, because day trading is you can really get burned on that.
Yeah, I've been watching Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum with transits, like real-time transits, and it's fascinating because I've pinned down the days that I know I'm going to sell a house. And, I come from the mortgage background, real estate background. So I'm pretty good with I was doing that with interest rates when I was a loan officer. So, and I'm using astrology, but it's still so unpredictable because, there's a lot of other things behind it. So
and a lot of people try and treat the crypto market like the stock market. And you can't do that. There are people who come in who are really experienced with day trading in the stock market, and they try to use all the same tools, and those people often get burned. And I see on all these forums that I read, they're like, yeah, you can't do that. Like, I've been trading stocks for 30 years and I've tried to do this in the crypto market, apply all the same techniques, and it does not translate the same. Although it can be done. There are a lot of people making a lot of money day trading these coins because they're so volatile. There's a lot of opportunity.
And what do you think are some good altcoins to get into? Like, what are some of your favorites?
Yeah. So actually one of my low key one that I think has a lot of upside. I'm a big fan of all the supply chain coins, and with these supply chain blockchains, one called VeChain, And so what VeChain does is they try to eliminate false products out in the world. So like if there is, and it's actually based out of China. And so in China, there's a lot of people making false labeled wine and selling it as really expensive French wines. And they're putting it out there, selling it for thousands and thousands of dollars. And I mean, it's completely false. It's a, I'm blanking on that word. The it starts with the C. I don't know why I'm blanking on that wording, but it's, I mean, they're just making these false products, counterfeit. Yeah. I don't know why. So they're counterfeit products and they're marketing it as these expensive, really old vintage bottles of wine. And so they're trying to complete a whole supply chain with this and using the blockchain and these cryptos that it's called VeChain. And so with this, the wine bottle that you would receive, say at a grocery store, it would have a QR code on it. And as the final end user, you can scan that with your phone and you can see exactly where it was made, exactly how it was transported, and when it was transported, the temperature of the truck that transported it. You can see every single aspect of that supply chain. And with that, that is going to disrupt the food industry, disrupt anyone trying to counterfeit. And like I said, they're doing wines. They're also trying to do Louis Vuitton bags. That's another huge market. And not only Louis Vuitton, but just luxury goods, that there is a big counterfeit market. So the possibilities for that are endless. And then, so there's that. There's one called Walton Chain. That's another supply chain one. There's another that's my favorite, low key, very low key. They're working on their own blockchain right now. It's called Ambrosis. And Ambrosis is based out of Switzerland. And supposedly, I mean, it's a lot of speculation because they say they have over 20 NDAs with big companies wanting to use their technology, but they can't talk about it. So it's like, okay, it's tough to say if that's true or not. And because they're in Switzerland, they say that they've been working with Nestle. And so with that, if they are partnering with Nestle, and this coin has a pretty low market cap, I forgot how much it is. I think like around 30 million coins total. And if you have a small market cap, kind of like Bitcoin, they have 21 million total Bitcoin. If you have more people buying into it, it's a fixed amount, that 21 million. If you have more people buying into it, the price of Bitcoin is going to go up. There are some coins that have like trillions and trillions of coins. And if more people are going into it, the price isn't going to go up that much. That's why you can't have a coin like Ripple, for example, XRP. People are buying into it and they're saying, oh my gosh, this is going to be the next Bitcoin. It's going to be $10,000, $20,000. It's not possible because you have to factor in how the market cap, how many coins are out there total. But anyways, this company, Ambrosis, supposedly working with Nestle. I'm a big fan of them and they have a great team and they want to do that supply chain. Like I explained with the wine bottle, they want to do that for food.
Wow, that's interesting.
So if you're buying something at a grocery store, you can scan that QR code and you can see where the farm was that it was made and grown, and especially if it's organic. So I think that's a really cool application, especially since I'm kind of in the food industry.
So I'm totally I'm so new to this. I'm going to ask questions that are very beginner and
please do.
Some of these people might sound stupid, but I guess my question, I have to wonder, do you believe that it's going to be set up kind of like credit cards? So for instance, you know how there's not credit cards, but I'll give you the example is how I think. Like there's Discover, there's MasterCard, you can get a million different credit cards. Do you think that's how it's going to be with all these different coins? Like you're going to have this coin with this coin. I mean, do you think there's going to be eventually interest or anything like that? Or how do you think it's going to happen? I know that's kind of a hard question and it's kind of very vague, but you can kind of maybe see where I'm going.
Yeah. No, I get it. There actually are cards, that physical cards, kind of like a credit card, that you can put crypto on it and you can link it to an account. But I do think that a lot of these cryptos can succeed, but there's a lot of trash out there and there are a lot of companies that aren't going to work. I mean, they're all startup companies, and in a startup, it's like somewhere around 70 to 90% of startups fail. So you have to consider that. But the ones that do succeed, it can, just like in the internet boom, there were companies that a lot of them failed, like pets.com and all these other companies. But then there were companies like Facebook and Amazon who came out and are monsters. And so I think that's going to be the same with crypto. I think there's a lot of opportunity for many different coins because they're also coming in different market segments. So for example, VeChain, the one that's trying to deal with wine and pharmaceutical products too. So you know exactly the supply chain. And then another company might only specialize in food. And they're in different parts of the world. So I think there is room for opportunity for multiple people. As far as credit cards, I think it's going to take a while just to get it out there as the norm. But it is, and there's only a few currencies actually trying to be a currency like that. Like Bitcoin right now, you couldn't use a card or you couldn't use Bitcoin at an actual shop because it is so slow and the technology has, unless they improve the technology, I mean, it's not going to last because right now, if I were to go to a store, say at my food truck, people come, when they use Bitcoin, it's really easy. They scan it, everything, but then it takes upwards of 30 minutes to an hour for that transaction to go through and to verify. And that's because just Bitcoin, the technology, a lot of other coins have improved it since then, but Bitcoin's just so slow. And so when that person leaves, they actually had to stay there. They ate their food and an hour later they like came up, they're like, okay, it did verify. So I was like, okay, I can't do that. That's not realistic to have with all these customers right now.
Right.
And there's high transaction fees, especially with Bitcoin right now. All these people are trying to get in at once. The system's not as good as it can be, like I said. And so you end up paying like $5 for a $10 meal or something. And
right.
it's just ridiculous. So I don't see it like as just a currency and swiping credit cards. I think it is possible, very possible, but it's definitely in the long term.
Yeah. And you said that in the class that, that it needs to advance the technology. And you also said that Litecoin is kind of, or in Ethereum and everything is kind of putting some missing pieces together. What do you think of Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin Cash?
So I'm not a big fan of Bitcoin Cash because Bitcoin is working. They have a core group of developers called the Bitcoin Core, and they are working to improve it. And there's something called the Lightning Network. Now, I won't go into extreme detail about it. To be honest, I'm still learning a lot about it. But the Lightning Network, with that, it'll have like these side chains. So there's the blockchain, and then there could be little blocks on the side of it. It's crazy. But with the Lightning Network, these transactions can be really fast. It can be a matter of seconds, and the transaction fees would be extremely low. So if that happens with Bitcoin, then Bitcoin becomes king again, and it can be amazing. And then there's no reason for Bitcoin Cash. And so I believe that Bitcoin will eventually improve, and then there's no reason for Bitcoin Cash. Now, Litecoin Cash is a total scam. Like it's the founder of because when something happens like that, when like a currency called Litecoin Cash, Bitcoin Cash, that happens because there's a problem. And the community, since it's all decentralized, meaning the currency isn't owned by a company or one central organization, everyone in the world owns it. So everyone in the world is running a computer that's verifying these transactions. And that's the whole mining process. But because all these people are running the computers, they all get to vote. And if there's a problem with Bitcoin, then 51% of the network, 51% of all the people in the world have to agree that, yes, we're going to do it this way, or no, we're going to do it this way. So 51% of all of the people running those computers have to agree. Now, that's what happened with Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin had a problem. They were saying transactions are too slow. The transaction fees are too high. We need to solve this. And 51% of the people said, no, we don't. We're going to keep it as Bitcoin, and that stayed as Bitcoin. And then the other percentage says, no, we're going to what it's called fork. We're going to fork, and we're going to make a new currency. And so they made Bitcoin Cash out of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin Cash has an 8 megabyte block size, while Bitcoin has 1 megabyte. And that's why it's faster and better. But I just don't see it hitting the mainstream. Now, Litecoin, the creator of Litecoin, Charlie Lee, he publicly came out and said Litecoin Cash is a scam. It is not forking from Litecoin. They literally just called it Litecoin Cash just as a marketing ploy to get people to think, oh, it's like Litecoin. And he came out, Charlie Lee, the creator of Litecoin, and said it is a scam, avoid at all costs. It might not be, but he said it was. So in my opinion, I would not get involved with Litecoin Cash.
Yeah, especially if it's coming from the source. That's
exactly.
That's pretty like red flag number one. And
I know, right?
Speaking of Litecoin, so and it's because I really like the chart of Litecoin, and Cliff High, who is very well known in the crypto, which a lot of my subscribers have came from him. It's amazing because he's been accepting Bitcoin for his web bots, and what he does is he has the web bots that take the linguistics. He don't notice these trends, and when he saw this cryptocurrency upcoming, and this is how all this he really got this going, and it's so amazing to me. So with his web bot reports, it is so, and now his web bot reports also do other kind of predictions. Okay, so like world predictions and stuff, things behind the scenes with politics and all that other stuff. So it's so amazing because I say it's an astrologer's dream to put those. I look at his web bot reports with the astrology transits, and they all correlate. It's just so crazy. But he's a big advocate of Litecoin. So I did a lot of Litecoin because I think I just like the chart of it too.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on Litecoin?
So I am a fan of Litecoin. Litecoin basically is a better Bitcoin. It's faster, it's cheaper. Whenever I'm buying crypto and I don't want to, because sometimes when you buy other altcoins, you have to buy it on one exchange and then you send it over to another exchange to buy the altcoins. And so whenever I buy it and I'm in a rush, I buy Litecoin and I send it over to that exchange, and it's a matter of seconds that I get it, and it's incredibly low transaction fees. If I were to buy Bitcoin and send it over to the exchange, then it would take hours, and I might miss an opportunity when the price is really low on something. So I'm a big advocate of Litecoin, and especially recently they announced LitePay, which is kind of like a competitor with PayPal. And so they're trying to create something that is kind of like a plug-in where you can plug it in on your website and start accepting LitePay, and it'll be lower fees than PayPal and it'll be quicker. So I'm a big advocate. I am. I think it has a bright future, and there's still not that many people involved.
Yeah. And, because it's funny, I watched this video with Cliff Hive recently, and there was a guy that actually, I think he mines Bitcoin, and he was saying the cost of mining Bitcoin is $2,000 per Bitcoin. So it's got to be worth that. And he goes, and this guy was like a mathematician. What was his name? But he's definitely, what do you think? And he was talking about Monero, M-O-N.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on, have you heard about that?
Yeah. So Monero is one of the coins. It's a privacy coin. And so what that means is a lot of these coins, and how, especially with Bitcoin, when the white paper came out about Bitcoin, there was this whole technology about blockchain, and blockchain is a public ledger. So similar to your credit card statement, you can see I spent $10 on pizza at this location, and I spent $20 on groceries at this location. And so with the blockchain, you can have all those transactions, but it goes out all over the world. And like I mentioned earlier, all these people who have computers who are verifying every transaction, they're called nodes, all these people holding it, which is funny because that's an astrological term. But
so is.
Yeah. So all these people who are running nodes, all these computers, they are agreeing to keep a full copy of the blockchain. So a full copy of that public ledger, all of those transactions. So someone in China might have that transaction saying, I bought $10 of pizza at that place. And someone in Australia might have the same exact copy saying that, and it gets publicly updated. So it's very transparent, but at the same time, it's all private because it's all encoded with, and it's encrypted with different codes. So it doesn't say Austin Patry bought this for this much. It'll say XY2 you're assigned a private key with your own account. So my private key might be that code. And so I can find that reference, but it's coded so other people can't go back and figure out what I'm doing. But with Monero, they are privatizing that whole blockchain, so people can't see that. And there are other privacy coins, kind of privacy, like Dash. Dash is another one that I like actually a lot. And they're saying the whole point of blockchain technology is so that you can have this public ledger like that. With Monero, you can't see any of that, and there can be a lot of crime, and a lot of that money can be going a lot of weird places. And for that reason, I think it can be a really good investment. It just to see, it's a matter of where people are going, what people want with their crypto, with their money for the future. If they really care about that privacy, in my opinion, I don't think privacy is that big of an issue, to be honest, because people will go on Facebook, people will go on all these social media accounts, and they do not care what they put out there. Like when you go into PayPal and you agree to their terms and services, they're sending out your information to 300 or like 600 companies. And I mean, people don't care. It's all going on behind the scenes. And so if people really cared about privacy and started to care, then I think Monero could be cool. But it's kind of, it can be kind of sketchy in the market, but it is serving a good purpose for people who need to send things privately.
Yeah. And did you hear that Amazon might be accepting Litecoin?
Yeah. I mean,
have you heard that rumor?
Kind of. I've always heard Amazon might be accepting this or that. I'll see it when I believe it.
Yeah. 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 I know it's hard I just like to look at it from the charts, and I looked at the Amazon chart, then I looked at the Litecoin chart. So there are similarities that I could see that happening. You know?
And I know Starbucks came out and they said we're looking into cryptocurrencies, but not Bitcoin.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You should look at that chart.
Yeah.
You like Ethereum.
I love Ethereum. So Ethereum is one of my favorites because unlike a lot of other cryptocurrencies, it's not just a currency, it's a platform for other cryptocurrencies and other companies to build on top of. So each coin has their own blockchain. So Bitcoin has their own blockchain, Ethereum has their own blockchain, Litecoin has their own blockchain. Now Ethereum, their blockchain, you can think of it like an app store. So they're the app store. They created this whole platform, and then other people are able to make apps with their own code and everything, and they can throw it on the app store and other people can download it. So with Ethereum, there are other companies who are making their own apps. They're actually called dApps, decentralized apps, and they'll put them on Ethereum's platform so that other people can use them. And the reason why they do this is it's a lot less expensive and it's a lot quicker and a lot easier to build on top of an already established blockchain as opposed to creating your one for your whole. So there's a lot of really good projects that are being built on Ethereum, and some are trying to build their blockchain right now, but in between they're being built on top of Ethereum. One is called EOS. That's a really good one. And that's being built on top of Ethereum right now. And for that reason, I like it because there's so many projects relying on Ethereum. So if Ethereum just crashed and burned, so would all these other projects. And so when you have that reliability, I think that's a positive for it. And also there's the whole concept of smart contracts, which is a big buzzword right now. And it's basically with Bitcoin, I can send you 10 Bitcoin and that's all that can happen. Austin sends 10 Bitcoin to Heidi. But with Ethereum, I can send you 10 Ether is the currency the crypto that goes with Ethereum. And it can say Austin sends 10 Ether to Heidi. But in addition, you can have a little box where you can program and you can put in code and program something. So you can create contracts with code in this smart contract. And you can say, if I do this webinar, then you pay me 10 Ether. And then it's all in code. So it'll say, okay, Austin did the webinar and you have to put in your money before. So you stake it. So that way you can't say after the webinar, you're like, I don't want to give you the $10. It's just like a real contract. So it'll automatically do it. She says, okay, I did the webinar. I got $10, 10 Ether. That's that. It's just all automatic. And with these smart contracts, the reason why we have contracts and lawyers in the first place is to create trust, because you're dealing with someone whom you might know very well. Even if you do know them very well, you just want to keep that person liable. Now, with these smart contracts, you don't need lawyers. You don't need a middleman, because it's all built in code and math. It's things that you don't need to trust. You don't need liability. It's just fact. So that's something that's really interesting. I think there's also a lot of problems with it, but I think eventually, like with real estate, that could be a huge application. Eventually it can come to that, but I think we got some time on that. But I'm a big fan of Ethereum. Long story short.
I like the chart of that too. I think that chart is very, very nice. So yeah, both, I like all three of those charts. That's why I just so think like, and your mom has been saying Bitcoin, and I knew nothing about it. And she's been saying Bitcoin, and she has made, let's talk about her world prediction. Spot freaking on things that she has predicted. And, when you go on YouTube, you get all the haters that say, oh, she didn't say that, she said that. I can tell you that I know her personally, and she has said things that she hasn't even said publicly, and they've came true. Okay. So 100%, she is spot on. So, and she was seeing the trend, and then with you and sharing it, it's amazing because, and I was waiting to take that class before, because I wanted to see the dates she was using to make sure they matched up with my dates. Because you have to wonder, do you use the date that it was registered?
It's tough.
It's tough. It's really hard to do that. But, and then I asked Cliff, that's why I got in touch with Cliff, was to ask him a few dates. And he was so broad on other subjects too, like on multitude of spiritual topics. It was just amazing. I think he's one of the smartest men that I've ever spoke to, but it's just amazing how these trends are changing. And you can see like they just had a big meeting about it in the government, and they're all gung ho for it. Like doesn't look like it's going away.
And the SEC and the CFTC, the commodities trading, I mean, they're, like you said, they just had a big meeting, and the head of, I think, the CFTC, he went up there and he said, look, I have kids at home. They are so uninterested in the stock market, but they are going crazy for crypto. Like this, we need to take this seriously, and it can be the future. So I don't think regulation is a terrible thing. A lot of people who are deep in crypto, they are anti-government, anti-bank, anti-this, but I think there needs to be some, the government's not just going to throw up their hand and say, okay, you win. Right. We'll give all the power to the people. There's too much money involved. There's too much politics involved. And I think it can be utilized and be a win-win situation for both the technology and for governments and everything.
Agree. I totally agree with you on that. Do you want to do some Q&A? I do want you want to tell everybody about all your new upcoming things, because you're going to do trading, you said, or you're working on it. You're thinking about it.
Yeah. So I thought about doing a hedge fund of some sort to bring in investors and do a long-term strategy. But I've been talking with lawyers like crazy, like 5 different crypto expert lawyers, and the liabilities through the roof. And it's just, there's so many uncertain legality issues around crypto right now that they might be these cryptos might be classified as a security. And then you need a securities license to broker all these things and to have a hedge fund, which I don't have. So I'm not a financial advisor or anything. So I've transitioned from doing that into doing one-on-one consultations with people. So I just made a website, just finished it this morning, and it's called GetThoseCryptos.com. So you can go to that. The link should be below. And we also have a Facebook group that goes with it. So you can interact with all these people. You can join that, and a Facebook page, which I will post news about crypto and keep everyone up to date with everything. So I'll do all the work so you don't have to. But I'm starting to do these one-on-one consultations because, like you mentioned in the webinar that we did, I really am passionate about getting people involved with this. And I want to teach people who have absolutely no experience whatsoever, no technological experience, just have no idea what cryptocurrencies are, but they're interested. I want to help these people understand it. And more importantly, I can help them buy it. But more importantly, I want to help them, if once they do have crypto, how to securely store it in a hardware wallet. That is, I mean, I can sound like a broken record, but you need to store your crypto in a hardware wallet. Whenever you hear all of these people and these companies getting hacked, and maybe you might not want to get involved with crypto because a hacker is going to steal it all. Well, the blockchain has never, ever been hacked. It's the exchanges who are holding your money, these centralized companies and these online websites that are holding your money. Those are what's being hacked. So there are these things called hardware wallets, and it looks just like a little USB drive. And with these hardware wallets, you can securely store, you send your crypto to that wallet, and you can securely store it on it, and then you unplug it, and it's called cold storage. It's not connected to the internet, therefore it cannot be hacked. And there's also passwords that go along with it. So the only way for someone to hack you is to go into your house, find your hardware wallet, know the 26-word password that goes with it, and then plug it into a computer and figure it all out, which, I mean, is maybe it can happen, but if you don't tell anyone about it, they won't know that you have it. So this hardware wallet, I mean, it's vital that you have this, but it can be a little confusing, especially the first time you're doing it. And it's scary when you have funds and you're trying to send them the first time, because if you send them somewhere else, to say you send Bitcoin to Ethereum wallet, then it's gone.
I need help. So
yeah.
I'll probably be one of your first clients on that, because God, I am a mess when I don't even have, I don't have the time to research it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this is where, and I just like right now, Coinbase, I know it's bad. That's dangerous. And everybody's probably going to yell at me, but I haven't had time to do all that yet. And like, I need to do that. I know I need to do that. So definitely I'm going to sign up for that. I saw that you have that on your site, because that's stuff that maybe some people just don't feel like dealing with. They want to buy it. They want to buy some, get into it, and not. That is an awesome idea. I think that, that's where a lot of people need to start, because you can watch as many YouTubes as you want, but if you don't, like, one-on-one is great, because some people can watch the YouTubes, but if they don't do it while it's just that.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that you can have someone there and I would be there, I'll answer all your questions. If you want to schedule this one-on-one consultation and just talk, then that's fine too. I can just help you walk through some of these concepts that are difficult to grasp. Maybe
like helping me put it on my website.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. Actually, I didn't add that yet, but I'm definitely going to add that. And yeah, so just getting these on a hardware wallet from point A. And then if some people want to invest in other altcoins, and like I said earlier, you have to buy it on one website, send it to another, and then send it to another. And it's confusing. And a lot of people like you who are really busy don't have time to do this. So I want to help those people in an hour and a half and get them safely and securely into the crypto environment.
I'm going to ask you to please do that, because I need that big time. And I just, seriously, I'm so excited that when I saw that, when I saw your website and I clicked on it, I was like, I need this. Like, I need to talk to him about this too, because that is something that, and I'll just let it go, because and people are like, when are you going to take crypto? When are you going to take crypto? And I'm like, I don't have time to worry about how to take crypto right now. That's the problem. So, and it just gives me anxiety to think about it.
I know it's just a big project.
Like, it's real easy. You just set it up on here. You set it up on
there.
Yeah. I don't even have a freaking wallet yet.
yeah, exactly. And I do have like a referral link for a lot of these things. If you want to buy a hardware wallet, I can give you a referral link. And then if you want to start on Binance, which is a big exchange, or Coinbase or anything, I can give you a referral link, and you'll get discounts on trading. So I didn't give you those links, but I will include them on my website if you go there, and you can just go on my calendar and you can book yourself an appointment.
Sounds like that's just amazing. And then you also have an awesome YouTube channel that I love, because as an astrologer, I like to hear the history of companies, and you do how different companies set up or start up, and I think it's great. So make sure to check out Austin's YouTube channel too. So we're going to post all the links I'm going to pin your comment. So what I'm going to do, Austin, once this downloads, just make a comment of all the links you want me to include, and then I'll pin it at the top, so then everybody can see it. It'll be the first comment that comes up. they can just subscribe to your channel and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. And I'm going to start doing some more crypto videos probably on my channel. Like you said, I do on my channel right now. I'm a full bred entrepreneur. I love all things startup and entrepreneurial. And so I've been doing just 2-minute long videos about how these successful companies started. And they're really interesting stories. You learn a lot, you can see a lot of perspective. So definitely check that out.
All right. And now we'll take some questions, but I have a question. Well, I have 2 questions that are going to be mine. Then we'll take them from the chat.
Okay.
So my first question is, because I have a friend that is a Bitcoin hater. Okay.
Okay.
And now he brought up, and I used to be like, oh, Bitcoin's green, no paper. And then I thought, then after talking to you to hear how much energy is the mining, what the energy uses the mining. So what do you think is going to happen with that? Like, do you think there's going to be a pole shift from the energy?
Yeah.
I'm not joking. So what are your thoughts on the efficiency with that? Because you said it's not efficient at all. Mm-hmm. And what do you think they're going to do to fix it?
So that is the biggest problem, in my opinion, in crypto is this mining. It is incredibly inefficient, and it's the amount of mining energy being used around the world is more than some countries. I mean, it's absolutely insane. It's not sustainable. So there's a couple of different ways to solve this. Number one is doing like renewable energy, setting up, they're called mining farms, where they have just rows and rows of these computers. You can do that and then maybe get all of that powered by wind energy or solar. But that's pretty expensive to set up, and it's going to take a while to do that. The other way, because the crypto community has addressed this, so all of this mining is in a system that's called proof of work. And basically what that means, that's all these computers around the world verifying transactions. And that's the whole mining process. And that's what's taking up energy. It's just computers trying to solve a math problem. Once it gets that math problem right, then the computers say, okay, got the math problem right. It's verified, go. And so that's what all of this computing power is. Now that's called proof of work. Once that computer gets that math problem right, it shouts it out and it says, I got this math problem right. Someone double check me. And then another computer will double check and say, okay, good. So it shouts it out. It's called proof of work. They're shouting out and saying, okay, I'm proving this work. There's another system that's being talked about called proof of stake. And proof of stake, instead of having these miners, it will have people whoever has the most crypto, say in Ethereum, they're talking about establishing this. Whoever has the most Ethereum, then they will verify payments, because they're a credible source, and it incentivizes them to keep more Ethereum in their wallet. So that's another reason why I think Ethereum could go up, is because with this, if they do incorporate proof of stake, it incentivizes these people to hold more and more Ethereum, because then they can verify more transactions. And when you verify transaction, you get a reward. So if you hold a lot of Ethereum and you have the opportunity to verify more transactions, then you're going to get more rewards, more Ethereum back, and creating a profit. And so I think, and it's a lot more energy efficient with this new system. You don't have to have all these huge mining farms and everything. But the negative side to that people don't like is that it's just going to make the rich richer and the poor more poor, because the minimum amount is 1,000 Ethereum, which is $1 million. So you have to at least have $1 million to stake this. So I think things are going to change with, I don't know if mining is going to be around. It's just not, in a couple of years, it's not going to be nearly as efficient.
Okay. And then this is totally off the topic, but I said I have a wide mix here of my subscribers. So I am curious. Yeah. I came from a very religious beliefs. You just said I was very thrown off guard to hear that you went to a Bible college. I'm curious to know how you handle, do you get a bunch of criticism that your mom's an astrologer, you go to a Bible college? Tell me about your whole thoughts on that. I know this is totally off topic.
Yeah, no, but
I'm so curious, because I have a lot of people that came from a conspiracy channel that are truth seekers. They just want the truth. And I always preach that astrology is the proof. That's where you can see this stuff. Now, I believe in God. I believe in a higher power, but I think, so I'm curious to know your belief system, I guess, and how that goes.
Yeah. So growing up, I I went to St. Monica's Catholic school, and then I went to an Episcopal school, and then in high school, and then I went to Texas Christian University. So, I mean, ever since I've been little, I've been always supportive of astrology and my mom. Like when people ask what my mom does, I'm like, oh, she's an astrologer. And some people would be like, really? Like, or what? And I'm like, yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? So I'm full on supporter. I mean, I do believe in it. It is, I have a list of dates in my phone. Like I was telling you earlier that before I go to bed, I scroll through and I look at those dates every single night. She helps me through business, through everything. And I mean, it's worked. So I do believe in it. Growing up, I am very, very open-minded. So I definitely like to hear other opinions. And growing up, I mean, I would talk to these people about it and they're like, that's crazy. And I'm like, okay, like why, in a sensible form, like, why do you think that? I'd love to talk about it and discuss. And maybe it's my generation but no one has been like, that's crazy, you're insane. Like everyone has been very open-minded and they're like, whoa, that's cool. Like, yeah, I grew up in a very religious household, but I'm definitely open to hearing more about it. So I've never really heard that much backlash. In fact, at St. Monica, my kindergarten teacher at this really religious school, she was like, your mom's an astrologer? I was like, yeah. And a couple of weeks later, she was booking an appointment with my mom, and it's one of her best clients throughout the years. So
see, and that's the thing. I never heard, when I went to all those Christian schools too, and I never heard that astrology was for the devil until I did YouTube. Okay. And I never heard that. So I was blown away, and, you know, because I don't think it's demonic, and I think it's amazing. And then you can use it to help your life and improve your life and, you know, really figure out yourself. Your mom has helped me in so many crisis times, and it's like a psychiatry. Like you're going to a psychologist, somebody that understands you, that you can trust, that, you know, your mom has helped me so many times. And then when I met her, when her and your dad came here for my birthday, it was the best birthday I've ever had. And I will say they happened to be in town. So I got to spend that weekend, and it was literally like, you can say I was on like cloud nine. I was as excited to meet your mom and your dad than like somebody would be to meet like Brad Pitt. Okay. So that's the kind of weekend I had. So just so everybody knows, Joni Patry is a world-renowned astrologer. Everybody knows her. She's amazing. And, you know, look at her wonderful son. It's just amazing that he's so successful. And I just have all the respect for the whole family. So I love you guys. And it's just so awesome. Now some crypto questions. Can you see the chat?
Yeah, let me see. And one more thing I would like to say is just, I mean, no matter what your beliefs are, I don't care. And you can just talk with people and be open-minded and share a conversation, because a lot of people, they may believe just the polar opposite of you, but can be very, very good people. Exactly. And so that's how I go about things. I don't judge people on what they believe in.
That's good.
Okay.
It sounds like it seems like the older generation though is the ones that are like embedded into the, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I can see some things now.
Good.
Should I just read some, or
just read, so you can do whatever ones you want. That's
okay.
On you.
Someone mentioned box mining. Box mining is actually a really good YouTube channel for crypto. I watch that a lot. He's really good at explaining things, and he pumps out videos like he has a daily news saying. So that's pretty good.
It's so hard to go through these sometimes. It's like.
Okay. Someone asked, is there a lot of astrology in Texas? You might know that answer.
Well, there's a lot of people. I'd say Texas, Arizona, it sounds like. A lot of astrology. So many of my clients are from the West Coast. It's so funny. All my clients are from,
really?
Yeah, it is weird. Texas. I get a lot of people from Texas. And I'm pretty sure your mom meets people, doesn't she? Sometimes she does in-home consultation. Does she?
Oh yeah. It's crazy how many people come to our house and have like in-person consultations.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that. That's I wouldn't do that.
Okay. Here's Daniela Perosi said about how much AUD is that Australian dollars?
Maybe.
How much Australian dollars would one need to start from scratch? So hard to understand. I'm in what called new it. Okay. So to start from scratch, I guess that's what she's asking. I mean, you can start with $100. Like it doesn't have to be that much. And maybe over time it'll build up and it'll get bigger, just like investing in anything. But again, just don't spend more than you can afford to lose, because this is incredibly risky, incredibly volatile market. And I'm not a financial advisor.
Q question. Austin, what are your thoughts on having all of BTC fork coins in 2020?
Oh, on halvings.
Oh, having, sorry.
Yeah, no. So I think he's talking about, is he talking about resistance? Because there's something called resistance where it's like it makes it more difficult to mine for these coins. And the more difficult it is, the less reward these miners get. And so that's another reason why maybe mining won't be around like way in the future, because if it gets more and more difficult and the miners are getting less reward, then they're going to be less incentivized. But halvings, maybe he thinks there's going to be another fork. There's been so many different forks. Like there's Bitcoin Cash, there's Bitcoin Gold, there's all these different Bitcoins that forked from Bitcoin.
Okay. And I was trying to go up to the ones from the beginning, because there were like a lot coming in earlier. So let's see if I can find any more.
Oh, someone brought up a good point. They said, tell them to not react emotionally when price moves. That is very good advice, it's a very good opinion to have, because a lot of these people who first get involved with crypto, they'll buy $100, $200 in Bitcoin, and the next day it'll drop and they're like, oh my gosh, they have FUD. It's what it's called in the crypto community. That's fear, uncertainty, doubt, FUD. They have this FUD and they're like, I'm out of here. This was a mess. I'm not getting involved. But I mean, when I had it in 2014, I saw crypto absolutely plummet and I saw it go sky high. So it goes up and down. You just got to hold on.
Guess who bought it at $17,000? Heidi. Okay.
Hey, then it hit 20,000, 17. I'm telling you, like long term, I was kicking myself. I remember when Bitcoin was at $600 and I wanted to buy more, and I was like, this is so, like, I don't think I should buy it at $600. And all on these forums, people are like, is it too late? Has it reached its all-time high? So put that in perspective. You don't know where this could go.
Yeah. So in this guy, let me say who he is, because I wonder if you've heard of him. John McAfee.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a big cybersecurity guy, has a big presence in crypto.
Really like him. So, and he's just simple math numbers that he was shooting out there, like boom, this could be this. And he says 2020 Bitcoin's going to be at 1 million. And you have to take, like, just because these people say these numbers, like people take these numbers to the grave. Okay. And it's just like, because that's what a lot of people want to know, especially when they follow Cliff. Like, is it going to hit 13,888 in February, or is it going to, like, it's going to, like, I personally think it's going to hit maybe 100,000. Is it going to be 100,000 by 2018? It might be 98. It might be 97. It might be, but like, then it might go down. It might go down like crazy.
Yeah, might be $97.
Might be. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you just don't know. But it's interesting to think how there are 2.2 billion people out in the world who are connected to internet, but do not have any banks. And so that's a really big market for crypto. Like there's a company called Omise Go. It's OMG is their ticker. And they're trying to target these like Southeast Asia, all these companies who are kind of like third world countries, but they have internet, but they don't have access to banks. And so that could be a cool project. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity, and not only in America, but in third world countries and other places that you won't even think of.
Yeah. And he even said this great point, like it never is going to be illegal, because he said, they can make it illegal to go to their country and talk about it, but it's not like they can't just say you can't do it, because it's not
owned by anyone.
Yeah. So that's like, it's so true. And I do believe that I always say, and your mom says this too, and I said the same thing, like sometimes your mom takes the words out of my mouth. When the credit cards, if anybody thought back in the day that you could be paying with a credit card, you would have thought that was nuts.
Yeah.
Online banking, depositing a check in your with your phone. I wouldn't even go to the freaking ATM slots and drop the money in the mysterious machines. I've never done that in my life. Okay. So I'm real old school. So but it's easier. It's convenient, you know? So it's going to be the new wave, but I do think it's going to be regulated. I do think the government's going to take, it's going to get into it. They're going to get involved. Of course they are.
And we don't even know where it's going. Like we can speculate and talk about new technologies, new innovations. But when the internet first came out, we didn't think about Facebook. We didn't think about a whole social network that we could all connect. We didn't think about doing live videos like this with people commenting live. I mean, that was, we thought about making a web page where you can find information, just text. I mean, these things were unfathomable at that point. So
and even with a cell phone, like first cell phone, I was playing Snake. It's the only video game I've ever played. And now look what we're doing on cell phones.
I know, it's crazy.
I hate this person. Oh my gosh. Okay, so anything else do we have here? If not, Austin, I will let you go. But I really do appreciate you coming on here and talking. It's, just awesome talking to you. So
yeah, likewise.
Let me see if there's any more questions. Anybody have any last questions for Austin? It's so hard to read through these chats right now.
I love it though. Interactive community. That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't even know if some of these comments are even like crypto terms or if he's just making jokes, like anyone here in sumo, I don't know what that means. Is that something? Do you know?
I guess that's just like the ticker, the acronym for a coin, but there's so many coins out there. Like I wish I could say I know them all, but I really don't. There's thousands and thousands of coins.
What will McAfee eat on live TV if Bitcoin does not go to? No, I think it will. Why not? I think it will. To be $1 billion in US. I saw one other question I was going to ask you as the last one, but
yeah, I'm scrolling around.
Do you see any? If not, we're just gonna.
A lot of people saying like get a hardware wallet. So
yeah,
good for you.
Yeah, I need to do that. Pillar. What do you think about Pillar and Stellar? That's a good question.
I don't know what Pillar is. Stellar is an interesting one. They're trying to partner with big companies. They actually partnered with IBM fairly recently, and they're trying to be kind of like a Ripple in a sense where you can send a lot of money through like big transactions, like multi-millions. But as an investment standpoint, I think the technology is really cool. As an investment standpoint, I don't see it being a good investment because there's like, I forgot how many trillions of coins or something there are. So no matter how many people get involved, like it's not going to go up to an insane price. Because whenever looking at a coin, if you're trying to look at it as a long-term investment or whatever you may have, you have to look at that market cap. You have to look how many coins are out there because that's going to see and have a direct impact on how the price is going to change. So I think it is a cool technology. They're, like I said, kind of like a Ripple where they're trying to do these big transactions so you can send millions of dollars somewhere, but at a very low cost, at a very quick pace. And they're trying to do it decentralized. So it's interesting. That's definitely one to look at.
Quantum computing, will it hack the blockchain?
That's an interesting question. I've done some research on this. So quantum computing is just like this new form of insanely powerful computers, like unfathomable how much more powerful it is than what we have right now. And in order to hack the blockchain, you have to have, like I was talking about earlier, you have to have 51% agreement of something. You have to control 51% of the blockchain. And so if you want to hack one block, you have to hack that one block, but it's also connected to the block before. So you have to hack that block, and then it's connected to the one before. So you have to hack that one, and you have to hack every single one, which is incredibly difficult. In order to do that, you have to have an insane amount of power, because it's like kind of like mining, how it takes up so much power. You have to have so much power that it breaks the laws of thermodynamics. Like, you can't do it. And that's why the blockchain is so secure. But with these quantum computing power, they're saying it could be possible, because there's going to be so much more power behind it that there might be enough power for a lot of people to get together and hack the Bitcoin blockchain. So that's something, I don't know a ton about quantum computing, but that's something to definitely keep an eye out, because if computers become that powerful, then there's a lot of crazy things that can happen.
Okay. Well, we'll let you go, but thank you so much for coming on here. It's been really fun. And once again, I'm going to pin all your websites. Make sure you check out all of his websites, channels, Facebook pages that he has. So you'll learn a lot from him. So he's a great, great person that you can get a lot of knowledge from. So we'll end it on that. But Austin, don't hang up. I'm just going to take the live off real quick.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Just let me figure out how to end it. This is always my problem.